Good day, everyone. My name is Destiny Jato, and I'll be your instructor for this course, Microsoft Excel. Now, we'll be discussing the Module 1. Under this Module 1, Introduction to Microsoft Excel, we'll be looking at the following module content. So we'll be looking at the purpose and uses of Microsoft Excel. We'll be looking at an overview of the Microsoft Excel interface. We'll be looking at the worksheet flow, looking at rows, columns, and ranges. We'll be looking at cell references, basic types, navigation techniques, essential shortcuts. We're looking at how to create, save, and open workbooks. I'll be looking at key icons in MS Excel. Now, by way of introduction, let's look at what Microsoft Excel is. You see, this interface, this is called Microsoft Excel, this app. It is a powerful spreadsheet application that is used to organize, calculate, analyze, and present data. It is widely used in education, business, and daily life of tasks, such as budgeting, track recording, managing inventory, and performing accurate calculation efficiently. Now, some of the use of Microsoft Excel include budgeting and expense tracking, attendance and record management, inventory and stock control, data analysis and calculations, chart and basic reporting. Now, let's look at the basics of this. You see, this is called the interface of Excel. The looks, that's what's called the interface, right? Now, if I open this, it's called a worksheet. You can see here, sheet 1. This is called a worksheet. More than one worksheet is called a workbook. So if I add another a new sheet to this, I will have sheet 1 and sheet 2. Sheet 1 and sheet 2. But this entire thing is called a workbook. If you open a work, it's called a workbook. But one page out of it is called a worksheet, right? So let me delete this worksheet. Okay, the worksheets. Delete. So that's the difference between a worksheet and a workbook. The sheet is the page, the workbook is the what? The work that is opened. Now, just like we have the Microsoft Word, we also have a ribbon. You can see this is the ribbon. This very thing here is called a ribbon. This green thing down to this place is called a ribbon. Then you also have the document name. It's just above the document name is there, right? Now, this ribbon has tabs. You can see file tab, home tab, start tab, page layout, formulas, and all of that. All these are called tabs, and they have a group of related tasks, right? So each of these tabs have functions that they carry out. Also, we also have columns, and we also have rows. Now, what is a row and what is a column? And how can you differentiate the difference between a column and a row? Now, you see, these are rows: A1, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. These are called rows. Rows are horizontal. These are called rows, and they are numbered and they are lettered in alphabet. See, this is A to F, X, D. That's like the highest. Then these are columns. These are columns. These are columns. As you can see, these are columns. These are columns, right? So columns run vertically like this, while rows run horizontally. So these are rows. This is row 1. This is row 2. This is row 3, row 4, row 5, row 6. While this is column A, column B, column C, column D, column E, column F, column G, column H, and all of that. Now, where column and row meet, they are called cells. So these are cells. These very things are called cells. And cells are numbered. As you can see, if I tap this cell, you can see what it's showing, right? It is showing the column and then the row. So it is first column, first row. First column, first row. That's what it's showing, right? Now, if I click the second column, it is showing this and this. As you can see, it's changing the name. So these are called cells. And these numbers that are written here is called a cell reference, the name of the cell. Don't forget, cell is where it meets. Cell is where row and column meets. Don't forget that. It's very important. So these are called what? Cell references. A cell is where the row and the column they meet. Now, this is called the formula bar. This is where you impute your formula. This very place is where you impute your formula. So let's say if you are imputing the formula in Excel, you have to start with equal to, right? So if you put in an equal to, you type in a function, Excel will run the command for you. Now, this formula bar is basically used for imputing formulas that you want to run, right? It's used to edit log entries and calculations. And ribbon is divided into tabs and group. I've already explained that. Now, how do you navigate in Excel? You can use your mouse for navigation. This is my mouse that I'm using for navigation. You can use your arrow keys on your desktop, on your keyboard rather. You can use your arrow keys to also what to navigate. Now, what are some of the essential keyboard shortcuts in Excel? We have Control S. We have Control C, Control X, Control V. We have Control Z, Control Y, Control Home, and Control End. Now, what does Control S do? Control S is to save your workbook, right? Control S is to save your workbook. So you can have to save, you have to save it in downloads. You want to save it in downloads. Let's say I call it book one and I save. If you don't save a work, you won't see get access to the work again. Then Control C is to copy and to paste is what? Control V. Right? Now, to go back, to undo what it does is what? Control Z. Right? That's Control Z. To redo what you just did is what? Control Y. That means something that you just undid. You want to redo it. That's what? Control Y. Then Control H is to go home. Let's say you are on another sheet and you want to go home. It's what? Control H. So now we want to learn some of how do you open an existing document. Now, let's say this was not open and you want to open this document. Simply go to or shortcut Control O. You open it, you double click it, and it open. It's already open. That's why it seems as if nothing happened. That's how to open. So what you have already saved and you want to open, just simply press Control O or go to File, then Open. Good. Now, what are some of the key tools and icons in MX Excel? Now, some of the key tools in MX Excel is the Home tab. You see, the Home tab is what you use for basic formatting. You can see there are various Home tabs here. This is the font. You want to change the font, but you have to highlight it first. You have to click. Yeah, a cell has to be active before you can edit. So if you don't tap a cell, you cannot edit anything in that cell. So you have to tap it, tap it. So if I don't tap this now, I cannot. If I tap it, doesn't I will see the property. Good. So if I don't tap a cell, I will not see a property. Remember, I already explained what a cell is. So you have to tap these cells to see the very property of those cells. So now we have the insert tab where you can insert pictures, online pictures, shapes, tables, and all of that. We have the page layout. Page layout is used for many things. You have to change your rotation. We have the formula tab that basically controls here. As you can see now, if I tap here in my formula tab, this is called the formula tab. You can see it's displayed up there. If I change it here, it changes to. See that? Good. So that is basically for module 1. You have basically learned what Microsoft Excel is. You have learned the uses of Microsoft Excel. You have learned the interface of Microsoft Excel. You have learned what a worksheet is. You have learned what a workbook is. You have learned what a cell is, how to identify a column and a row. You have learned how to what a cell reference is, what a formula bar is. You have learned how to navigate Excel. You have learned some essential keyboard shortcuts such as Control S for saving, Control C for copying, Control X for cutting, Control V for pasting. And you have learned how to create and save the workbook. Now, there's one I did not mention, Control N. Control N is to open a new workbook. So we hit Control and N, a new workbook will display. Control and N. So it will open a new workbook. So let's say a new workbook. Just go to N and click. That's how to open a new workbook. So go back to your existing workbook. So that will be all for this module. I'll see you in module 2.